we've got a problem. I dropped my keys into the piano, but thankfully, I'm here to show you how to take it apart easily without hurting the piano. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by removing the music rest here. The music rest is designed to be easy to remove because it's honestly just a player's preference on if they want to use it or not. Typically, pianists will memorize entire pieces, so they don't need the music rest at all. So they'll take it off so they can hear the piano better. Now, it's important to mention as we're in this early stage that you need to acquire permission or just know the piano well enough and know who owns the piano well enough that you can do something like this. Don't do this on a piano that you don't own or know someone who owns it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this lid here. The lid also comes off very easily. Removing parts easily is a pretty big trend for piano technicians because a lot of times this thing can be accessed multiple times a week, especially if there's a big concert going on. They'll retune it and get into the action and make sure that everything's good for the whole week on the high-class performances. The next part is removing screws from... I did not drop my computer. The next part is going to be removing the screw from these blocks here. There's a block on the other side just like it. So I already took the screw out beforehand, but you'll find it right under here. All right, so once we remove the block, we want to pay special attention to which is on the left and which is on the right because they're not the same. I usually think about this wood piece is going to be facing on the inside of this, where it won't be facing the audience. We're going to do that on the other side. All right, next we're going to remove this front part. There we go. It's also important to pay special attention to what kind of piano you have. For example, this is a grand piano and it's a Yamaha. Not all pianos are made the same, so whether it's a Baldwin, Steinway & Sons, or a Yamaha, it could be very different, but they're also very similar. So you can apply this technique to a lot of different types of pianos, but not all of them. Just be careful. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to slide out this key bed. You're just going to firmly grab onto both sides and pull carefully. Now we get to see all the action, where all the hammers and stuff are. That's for a different video, but there they are. We're going to carefully slide it back in. There are guiding pins on either side to make sure that you don't put it in incorrectly. So don't worry too much about making sure it's perfectly straight. Next we're going to put on this front bar. Our right side. And our left. Then the lid. Being very careful to make sure the pins line up. Okay. Now that that's done, we can close it. And you can put the music rest on if you like, but I usually play with it off. The most important part is to make sure that it still plays at the end. So there we go. So we identified the different parts of the piano and I showed you how to take it apart. And now we've got our keys back.